A president of the United States must always have a strong moral compass. Always keep in mind the traditions, the values, the foundations of our nation. And that is what took place in August 1974 when Gerald Ford is president. Richard Nixon resigned the office, and in the opening hours and days of the Ford presidency, there is just this flurry of activity, almost frenetic energy, as the new president tries to right the ship of state. And so early on in the administration, there's a meeting one afternoon between Anatoly Dobrynin, the ambassador to the Soviet Union, and the new president. I just want to make one side note, and that is Dobrynin is a most interesting character. He has a memoir that I would urge you to read. There's a bevy of interesting stories in it. He serves 6 presidents, the first being in 1962 meeting JFK. And the story I'm about to share will not make the book because Dobrynin's kind of caught off guard by what happens in that first meeting. There is an agenda item in Gerald Ford's heart that did not make the State Department list or the administration list. It certainly didn't make the list of topics to be discussed for Henry Kissinger, but the new president, well, he's got a mind of his own and he has a heart that leads the mind at times. And so that is what happens when he says, I would like someone released from the Soviet Union. In 1970, a Soviet trawler was off of the coast of Martha's Vineyard. Next to it was a Coast Guard cutter, and there was a Lithuanian seaman on the trawler who jumped onto the deck of the Coast Guard cutter. Unfortunately, there was some machinations that took place and bureaucratic nonsense, and this seaman was sent back to the Soviet Union. He was sentenced to 10 years hard labor. Gerald Ford never forgot this man, and so when he became president and had the first opportunity, he urged Dobrynin to contact Brezhnev and release this man. Now, you can argue that that's just a good policy for being a good person, and you can also argue that détente was underway, the United States wanted it to continue, the Soviet Union wanted to have it continue and also have most favored nation trading status to get foodstuffs from the Americas. There were a lot of issues going on, obviously. But at the heart of that, there was a moral imperative from the new president that said, here's one man who wanted freedom and I have the ability to do something about it. And he did. That is a type of moral compass that I think we need to talk about, recognize as part of our tradition, part of our history. When we see morals being active in politics and international policy, it's very obvious. But it's also obvious when the moral compass is lacking from the person who is sitting in the Oval Office. Thank you for listening.